Hey everybody, welcome back. Tonight we're going to open up the Retrowax baseball card box from SlaterSportscards.com. You can find his information if you are interested in his products at SlaterSportscards.com. You can also see his email, Facebook, and Instagram pages here where if you're interested in ordering one of his boxes, they never disappoint me. Every month he does have an assortment of at least 25 packs from the junk wax era of 1982 to 1994. This month it does have a pretty cool assortment for me, especially. I have never opened up a pack of 1984 tops, even when I was young. $5 was a very expensive pack for a baseball card pack for me, and so I'd never purchased one. So I'm really excited to see that. We do also have some of the other highlighted packs here of 1987 Fleer, 1987 Donruss, 1987 Topps, 1989 Donruss, 1989 Bowman, and 1989 Fleer. So these are, and as well as a 1993 Topps Series 1. So looking for Jeter. If you're new to the hobby or haven't been collecting for a while, this is a great way to get back into the hobby. Each month he does give you a highlight of the cards that you're looking for in each of the featured packs. And then he also does have an assortment of other packs that may not be quite as prestigious, but still always fun to open up. So we're going to go ahead and get started and pull out these packs here. And there is also a cello pack as well as a rack pack. So I believe, if I remember correctly, he does guarantee at least 2 of either a cello or rack pack in every Retrowax box. So good assortment here. Quite a few different variety packs here. So the featured cards, again, like I said, we have 89 Donruss, which is my nemesis of trying to pull a Griffey. The 1993 Topps Series 1, 89 Fleer, 89 Bowman, and then the 87 packs of Topps Donruss and Fleer, and 1984 Topps, the highlight featured card in this pack. Some of these packs I have never opened up, so I'm a little bit excited. I don't even know what some of these cards look like. But we have 1993 Studio, 1993 Triple Play, and we also have a 1992 Donruss. This is Series 1. One of my all-time favorite designs, the 1989 Top Set. And then we also have a 1990 Fleer, a rack pack here of Eric Schau, Luis Aquino, and Jeff Musselman on the front of 1990 Donruss. And then we have a few more cards, 1991 Fleer, 1988 Fleer, 1989 Score, 1991 Score Series 1, 1988 Topps, 94 Fleer Ultra Series 2, 1990 Upper Deck, and this is low numbers, I believe, and 94 Fleer and 88 Donruss. So good variety of assortment of packs here. We're going to go ahead and start off with some of the lower end prestige packs. 88 Donruss was a set I never really collected in 1988. I don't think I have ever pulled an Alomar rookie in here, so hoping to pull one tonight. Here, so we start off with Bob Kipper. Chris Bosio having the time of his life. Benito Santiago, second year. Kevin Gross, Bob Forsch, Mike Scott, Wally Joyner, Danny Tartable, Dan Plesac, Ray Knight, Tom Brookins, Mike Scioscia, Mike Pagliarulo, and Scott Bales. So still have not pulled an Alomar. All right, so now we're going to go over to 94 Fleer. This is a set I'm not sure if I've even ever opened up a pack of these before. I was in college during this time frame, so my packs were pretty limited. And we start off with Julio Franco, Joey Cora, Tim Leary, Mike Trombley, Ken Ryan, Paul Sorrento, Pat Henkin, A John Olerud insert card out of 50. This is a pretty sweet looking card. John Olerud, in my opinion, one of the most underrated hitters of all time, along with one of his Toronto teammates, Carlos Delgado. And then we go to Mark Petkovic, Kim Batiste, Mike Stanton, Orlando Merced, Greg McMichael, and Mark Whitten. So that Olerud is a pretty sweet card. I've never seen that before. All right, so now we're going to go over to 1990 Upper Deck. Going from a pack I've never opened up of to a pack that I've probably opened up about 1,000 of these in my life here. Start off with Mookie Wilson. I do want to thank John Jabs from The Past is Alive for sending me a care package after my house fire. He did send me an autographed Mookie Wilson card, which was really cool. Told him a story that Mookie Wilson was playing in a rehab assignment, the very first professional baseball game I ever went to. So it was really cool getting that card here. We go to Gene Larkin, Otis Nixon, Lee Smith, Dave Anderson, and Upper Deck cards all over the place. So frustrating opening up a full box. So it's one of the few times I'm glad not to open up a whole box of cards here. But we have Jeff Robinson. We have Greg Maddux before he left the Cubs. Carmen Castillo. And we have a Pittsburgh Pirates sticker. Gary Carter, one of my all-time favorite players. Mike Harkey. Todd Burns. Dan Quisenberry. Robin Ventura, rookie, which would have been an extremely hot card to open up back in 1990. And then we have John Smoltz team checklist and Mike Lacoste. Moving right on along, we're going to jump into 94 Fleer Ultra. Opening these up, just no specific order here. Obviously saving the premium packs for the end. And we're going to start off here at the very back with a Greg Maddux insert card. And a little bricking, hopefully no paper loss here. We have Mitch Williams, Duff Brumley, who I don't ever remember ever hearing of that name before. And Ravello Manzanillo, Domingo Jean. Now this is a rookies pack, it looks like. I don't know, but there's a lot of rookies in this pack itself. We have Pat Rapp. Chris James, David Weathers, Dreaded Checklist, John Burke, the immortal Charlie Huff, Harold Reynolds, Tom Pagnozzi, Mike Mussina, and then we have our insert card, Strikeout King of Greg Maddux, which is a really cool looking card. Next, we're going to go over to 1988 Topps. So mainly looking for Caminiti, Matt Williams rookies here. Not a lot of value in this set. So quite a few error cards. I don't know all of the errors, so I'm not sure if we'll see any or not. I may miss a few if there are some in here. We have Kurt Stillwell, Jim Gantner, George Bell, Ron Guidry, Doug Drabeck, Wade Boggs, the propaganda piece. Another one of my all-time favorites, Dwight Gooden, Jose Rijo, Nolan Ryan Record Breakers, Ron Oster, Greg Maddux second-year card, and Roger Clemens. So pretty good pack. Not the greatest set for value, but that was a nice pack for some big names in it. All right, so now we are going to go over to 1991 Score Series 1. I believe this is the series with Mike Mussina in it. So looking for Mussina rookie, one of the best cards in the set. Again, not a whole lot of rookies made impact from the set here. We're going to start off with Dave Winfield, Dan Pasqua, Todd Benzinger, Ozzie Guillen, Kevin Mitchell, Von Hayes, Marquise Grissom, which would have been a nice card to pull, his second-year card. Todd Zeal, Gary Carter. Hate seeing him out of a Mets uniform and in a Giants uniform there. Mitch Williams and Mark Gubicza. Now we're going to go over to an 89 Score, the very first year that Score ever had baseball card. Or second year they had baseball cards. Not a lot of the big rookies made this set here, so there's not a whole lot of value. Unfortunately, Griffey did not make the base set here. We start off with Hubie Brooks, Jose Uribe, Odeby McDowell, Kirk McCaskill, Carney Lansford, Mark Langston, Mike Maddox, Rick Sutcliffe, Darren Dalton, Tommy John, Tom Pagnozzi, Carmen Castillo again, Ron Jones, Doug DeCenzo, and Kirk Manwaring. So none of the big rookies in the set there, but quite a few big names. All right, so here we have 88 Fleer, looking for Tino Martinez among a few of the other rookies, Caminiti as well. Looks like we got an insert card here. Steve Stanisiak, Mike Lavalier, Frank Viola, Alan Trammell All-Star insert card, so it's not a bad card at all. Jeff Musselman, Bud Black, Willie McGee, Sam Horn. I always feel like these cards are thicker than others, and they don't sort very well here. And Donnie Hill ends out that pack. So now we're going to go over to 91 Fleer. Again, this set didn't have a whole lot of big names in it. We do have a nice little card here. We have the Eric Davis and the All-Universe cards. The insert cards are actually, as I'm being told, are gaining in value and popularity here. Eric Davis would have been a big name to pull back in 91. Unfortunately, injuries derailed his career. But the rest of the pack here, we have a Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Bonds second-generation stars, somewhere on eBay, probably for $1,000. Alvaro Espinoza, Frank White, Felix Fermin, Wally Joyner, Troy Afner, Steve Avery, Keith Miller, one of my favorite utility guys, Kevin Romine, Cal Ripken Jr., and Randy O'Neill, with Tom Edens rounding out that pack. And then we have a quad sticker of different teams. We're going to go into now, we're going to hit 1992 Donruss. We're rolling right through this Retrowax box. Again, not too many high-value cards in this set, but it's a beautiful card itself. Start off with Ron Karkovice, Tim Raines, Darren Fletcher, Dave Justice, Eric Karros, rated rookie, Delino DeShields, Fred McGriff, Gary Thurman, Mitch Williams Wild Thing, Zane Smith, Randy Tomlin, Kevin Bass, Ed Whitson, Al Osuna, and we have a Diamond Kings card, John Crook. Don't see the Diamond Kings too often, at least I don't see them too often from that set. All right, but we go into 1993 Donruss Triple Play. Again, this is a pack I've never opened. I don't know if there's much value in this set or not. So if I miss anything big, you feel free to comment and let me know what I missed here. We have Bernard Gilkey, George Brett, Joe Oliver, Mike Gallego. We have Action Baseball, the Cubs versus Cardinals. And we have Cecil Fielder. And who is that? That is Mark Grace. Little League card. That's kind of cool. Never seen those before. Ed Talbensee, Ivan Rodriguez, Marquise Grissom, Scott Leyes, Matt Williams, and Terry Steinbach. And I have opened up a lot of 1991 and 92 Studio. I don't think I've ever opened up a pack of 1993 Studio. These were always known for taking the popularity of the glamour shots. Actually, these are really cool looking cards. Here, some nice little signatures there. We have Kirby Puckett, Barry Bonds. I have never seen these cards before, so these are really cool. Mike Pagliarulo, Cecil Fielder. They're sticking together, but I haven't seen any paper loss yet. And then we go over here to Jose Canseco. And then we have Andres Galarraga, Paul Sorrento, Pat Listash, Greg Jeffries, Sammy Sosa, Mike Mussina, and then we have one of my all-time favorite players as well, Brett Saberhagen. That's a really cool card, for me anyway. That's a really neat set. I've never seen those cards in my life, but that is a beautiful set. That might actually be my favorite design set now. All right, so now our last of the minor regular wax packs here, we have 1989 Topps. Again, probably one of my two favorite design packs, 87 Topps and 89 Topps. So beautiful cards. Not a lot of big names in the 89 set that really made it as far as rookies. So there's not a lot of value here. And again, Griffey didn't make the base set. We have Andres Galarraga, Dave Stewart, Steve Balboni, Ron Darling, Jimmy Williams, Jose De Leon, The Propaganda Piece, Jeff Robinson, Wes Gardner, Jim Rice, Mariners leader, Neil Heaton, Jack Lazorko, Ron Kittle, and Kirk Gibson All-Star. So nothing too prominent out of that pack. So now we're going to go over to our 1990 Don Russ rack pack. A lot of error cards, specifically the Juan Gonzalez reverse negative. Never pack pulled that. Probably won't pull it in a rack pack, but you never know what we might find here. I hate pulling out cards out of rack packs because I feel like I'm going to damage the cards every time I do. We got Jeff Musselman, Paul Molitor, Rafael Palmeiro, Jim Abbott, Ruben Sierra, Ray Sarich, Mark Davis, David Wells, Charlie Hayes, Tim Belcher, Gary Gaetti, Tom Foley, Vance Law, Peter O'Brien Diamond Kings, Carl Yastrzemski is the puzzle that year, Mauro Gusgazzo, Tom Browning, Willie Randolph, the dorky annex of Ron Robinson, Kevin Seitzer, Rick Sutcliffe, Ryan Sandberg, MVP, Julio Machado, the murderer, Lee Mazzilli, Glenn Davis, Mark McGuire, Lenny Dykstra, Eric Schau, Tony Phillips, Biff Roberts, Tony Gwynn, MVP, Kurt Schilling, second year card, Mookie Wilson again, Andres Galarraga, the checklist, and Eric Davis, team MVP. And our final pack before we get to the featured packs here, we are going to open up a 1990 Fleer Cello pack. Dwayne Ward, and again, these cards are very hard to shuffle through, so it may take me a minute here. But Rick Honeycutt, Ricky Jordan, Lee Mazzilli again, Mike LaValliere, Juan Berenger, Jose De Leon, Mike Greenwell, who recently passed far too early. stickers here. We have the Pirates sticker, the Twins, and then a quad team. Danny Jackson, Otis Nixon, Rick Russell, Kevin putting on the Ritz, Alfredo Griffin, Ben McDonald, which would have been a top card to get back in 1990, Dave Smith, Mike Moore, Ken Patterson, Roberto Kelly, Kevin Brown, John Smoltz second year, and then we have Mike Greenwell and Wade Boggs, John Costello, and Brad Komanis. So Ben McDonald would have been the hot pick out of that pack. So that brings us to our big packs here. Obviously, we're going to save the 84 tops for last. And 89. Let's go ahead and open up the 89 Bowman. Last time I did open up some Bowman cards, I did pull out a Griffey out of one pack. Let's see if we can do it again. A lot of good other rookies in this set here. We have Pat Clements, Alan Anderson, who I don't ever remember hearing that name before, Jeff Parrott, Ty Griffin, Bobby Witt, Scott Medvin, Ted Williams reprint card. Somebody's selling this at a flea market for $1,000. Kelly Thompson, Rob Dibble, Jim Deshaies, Luis Rivera, and Pascual Perez. And next we're going to go ahead and open up the 89 Fleer. Again, looking for all the big rookies, and if you follow baseball at all, you're looking for the Bill Ripken F-face error. Here, so we have Cardinal sticker, Wallace Johnson, Guillermo Hernandez, Mike Scioscia, Jeff Ballard, Mike Scott, Vicky Thon, Ken Phelps, Steve Bedrosian, Mitch Wild Thing Williams, Deion James, Darryl Strawberry, and Will Clark. Have met Will Clark and have seen Darryl Strawberry live, but never met him in person. Will Clark actually worked with my baseball swing at a baseball camp. One of the coolest moments of my life. And 89 Don Russ, my arch nemesis here. Let's see if we can pull a Griffey for once. Carmen Castillo, pulling a lot of his cards tonight. Lon Berenger, Greenwell Diamond Kings, Fred McGriff, Mike Scott, Gary Carter, never get tired of seeing him in a Mets uniform. Rafael Palmeiro, Dale Murphy, Barry Bonds, and Eric Davis, and Steve the Bedrock Bedrosian. So Griffey once again eludes me from the 89 Donruss. All right, I'm going to save the 87s for next to last year. We're going to go ahead and do the 93 tops, looking for a Jeter rookie. There is a gold card, so definitely would love to find a Jeter gold. But we'll settle for the base set. Definitely not here for the gold, so we'll see what we've got here. We got Ruben Amaro, Otis Nixon, the cocaine addict, another speedster, Kenny Lofton, Jody Reed, Mike Maddox. Our gold card is Gary Gaetti, Harold Baines, Brady Anderson, Lenny Harris, Kevin Reimer, Luis Rivera, and Rod Nichols ends out that pack. So haven't found any hot rookies in here. Still waiting for the 84 tops here. That's the big one. We're looking for the Mattingly or Strawberry rookies. All right, so go ahead and start off with 87 Don Russ. And we have Pat Clements, Greg Pryor, Jimmy Key, Donnie Moore, Rick Rhoden, Diamond Kings, Mike Fitzgerald, Reggie Jackson, Lloyd Mosby, Buddy Bell, Bob Tewksbury, Mike Maddox again, Wayne Tollison, Bob Horner, and nothing prominent in that pack. And we'll go ahead and go to 87 tops. There's a Jose Rijo rookie card in here. Let's see if you can find a Bo Jackson or Barry Larkin or any of the other hot rookies here. We have Ryan Sandberg, who also recently passed far too young. Mike Trujillo, Terry Kennedy, Sparky Anderson, a propaganda piece, Glenn Davis, Roger McDowell, John Tudor, Dan Billardello, Dave Palmer, and then Jose Rijo. And now we go to 87 Fleer. Here we go with the Braves and Tigers sticker. Paul Molitor, Cal Daniels, Kurt Ford, Jack Morris, Joe Johnson, Ed Oline, Steve Bedrock Bedrosian once again, Frank White, Wally Backman, Ray Soft, the immortal Charlie Huff again, and Vance Law and Jack Howell. So not a whole lot in this box so far, but we have the highlight pack here. I almost hate opening this, but like I said, I've never opened up an 84 Topps pack, so I'm really excited to open this up here. It'd be amazing to pull a Mattingly rookie on the first packet I've ever opened up of this set. Don Hood, who I've never heard of before. Pete Falcone, Mike Caldwell, Mike Hargrove, Steve Balboni, Bert Campaneris, Ivan De Jesus, the All-Star propaganda piece, Kevin Hickey, Tommy John, Larry Bittner, Juan Berenger, George Hendrick, Donnie Hill, Floyd Bannister, and Mike Walters. So nothing of real note here. Did get Jose Rijo rookie card, and then the Eric Davis Fleer insert, Greg Maddux, and John Olerud insert, and then for me, just out of sentimental value, the Brett Saberhagen 93 Studio first Mets card. So again, appreciate you stopping in. Sometimes you don't get the best luck when opening cards, but just hoping that you find something big. The thrill of every pack opening is so exciting. It makes it worth it, even when you don't find much. The thrill of the chase is half the fun. But I do appreciate you just popping in. We will be having some more cards opening soon. So I definitely, if you haven't already subscribed, I hope that you do. And if you do subscribe, please check my channel in the near future for more updated videos. Thanks for stopping in, and I hope everybody has a great night.